Hey, 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 we're live.
Hey, everybody. Hello. How are you doing tonight? Tuesday, and it's the 20th of April, 2021. A lot of exciting things to talk about today. Before I do that, I want to say, hey, Jeff, how you doing? Welcome to the show again.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's good to be here. Hey, Bill. And really awesome to be here with Bitcoin Brodie and the Crypto Cadets. I'm Jeff
Yeah,
Brodie and Bill
Scheltema.
Scheltema. And so we're here. We're going to have an interesting conversation today. And,
Mhm.
I think that we're all aware that Bitcoin had a massive correction in the
Mhm.
last several of hours,
Yeah.
the last day. And we've got some heavy FUD going on in celebrity power. Do you want to give us an update on what's going on, Bill? What, from your perspective as the newer investor?
Absolutely. I'll give it my best shot. Try it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm 9 weeks in. I started on the 15th of March. And we're into the latter end of April. So yeah, it's been a pretty steep learning curve, but I've been able to keep my footing pretty well. And Jeff has been really good at doing some guidance and some teaching offline, as well as here in these videos and on the Crypto Canada website and cryptocurrencies questions and answers and news. And so yeah, what are we going to talk about? So the correction with Bitcoin. I think what I'm going to start with is of celebrity power and the power of celebrity. And you obviously know I'm going to talk about, mention Elon Musk. Anything he says or tweets regarding cryptocurrency, and usually it's targeted to Dogecoin, is going to have an effect. And it's had a major effect, and it skyrocketed, and it got people just frantically getting in there to make their money. I'd seen different people on Crypto Canada asking questions on how to get into it, and how much should I buy, how long is it going to last, when's it going to drop, and people are going in as newbies, as green people, beginners, without really any understanding of what's going on, and just relying on other people's advice and jumping right in, not
Yeah,
really
it's like
understanding the momentum or the dynamics of what's going on.
hugely volatile and dangerous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
you've got these Dogecoin, you know, people who are making 1,000% return on their investments, and
Mm-hmm.
there's no fundamental economics other than Elon Musk tweeting Dogecoin the new currency of Mars, right?
Yeah.
And that's Dogecoin released in 2013 as a meme coin, a joke,
Yeah.
and then Elon Musk hopping onto it and using it as a flipping the bird, if you will,
Yeah.
to the establishment.
Yeah. And it's gone up, I think, 150,000 or 15,000% from its initial offering. Was it 15,000 or something like that?
Man, let me actually. That's a really good
I
question. I took
think,
a look at it.
yeah, I think I saw that somewhere on one of the groups. But while you're looking for that, so we take celebrity power. So we're talking about the positive side of it for those that are, wanting to make money with Dogecoin. It's like we just wait for the great Elon to make a comment so they can see it pump it yet again, right? But then you have people like Bill Gates who speak contrary to that and calls Bitcoin, garbage, trash. It's going to die. That's not something to get involved in. That moves the market in another direction for people that listen to what he has to say. But we were talking about it beginning of before the show that we have people that are likely playing both sides of that, both sides of the coin,
Yeah,
and so it's very likely that Bill Gates probably has invested in Bitcoin,
sure.
and he can use his power, his money to influence it for his own gain in whichever way he feels it's going to go. And then you have guys like Elon Musk, having fun with it, and dissing, or Bill Gates is dissing Elon Musk, and then you have this crazy, relationship going on. We're all watching it,
Yeah,
and we're jumping in on the wave where we can, and trying to make money off of what they're saying. And it just takes the whole idea of how to invest in the standard methods. It kind of blows that out of the water. It's like, well, you can't create a strategy when that kind of stuff's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, and it's like to talk about this, that the market manipulation. If we take a look at Bitcoin, like it dumped $10,000, right, in 20 hours.
Yeah.
Actually, in 8 hours. It started in the Asia Pacific morning.
Right.
So, there's a couple of rumors. One, that there was a province in China where a significant amount, they say up to 40% of the Bitcoin hash power is located. I don't know how valid that is or not, so I'll take it as that.
Yeah.
So you get this hash power drop off for whatever, 16 or 20 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got someone coming in and doing a massive sell-off of Bitcoin. Somewhere around $1 billion of Bitcoin was flooded into the market at a free fall. So when you're it comes into a supply and demand thing. It's like when there's a massive amount of supply and the demand isn't as high as the supply, the price plummets.
Yeah.
And the price can be manipulated and controlled by the person who's selling, because they can take lower. I can set a limit order. If it's trading at $64,000, I can put a limit order that I'm selling off 1 million Bitcoin, or 1,000 Bitcoin, and I'm going to take 54,000 instead of 64,000, and then the orders start flying in, and that starts driving the price down, right? And if you've ever looked at the buy-sell chart, you can actually see the order stacked, and what you'll see is the order stack in descending order. You're selling at this price, and then the next, there's X amount at this price, X amount, and they just keep stacking lower and lower and lower. So they're actually creating the downward momentum of the price. So that's what we've seen happening. So,
was that power failure due to the dams that
something like that? I haven't done the full research on it. I've gotten more of the third party explanation of what happened.
Right. Now, so then, sorry to break in. So now we've lost that section of mining in that area. That will then just repopulate or it'll just reorganize in other areas where they'll pick up the slack, other mining in other.
Once the power came back on, like they got the power restored, they got back on.
Right? Oh, okay.
It just, when you get that type of a massive power outage, you generally only have so much backup power. So, it may have put a test to the disaster recovery plans that these massive mining organizations have in place. Do they actually have the ability to generate their own electricity in the event that they lose utility power?
Yeah.
And when you're, let's say, like, I'm in Toronto, how long do we usually lose utility power? Not very long. Unless there's some type of a natural disaster like the ice storm that we had a few years ago.
I remember that.
Or the, going back, like that's 2008, 13 years ago, when we had the Eastern Seaboard. Everyone in the Eastern Seaboard in the US and Canada was offline because of power outage, because the grid went down. Right? Yeah. So those are the types of things, if you think back to that. And, so we've got that. And then you've got the newscasters running stories like India is banning crypto. And then, so then you have, Turkey has made it illegal for crypto payments, right? No disrespect, but I don't think crypto, Turkey is the number one financial center of the universe. So, I mean, it's immaterial. And then, so we're running these fear, uncertainty, and doubt type of dialogues going, told, and Bill Gates getting on and telling everybody that Bitcoin is going to zero and that it's a scam coin. And the dialogue being that, we need to support the currency of the government. So, you talk about your double-edged sword and playing both sides of the coin, and you were talking about what was happening in how countries play both sides of the coin, even in warring times.
Yeah, warring times for sure. Supplying materials and fuels and oils. I was just going to make a comment to what you were talking about with India and Turkey. You know, as a new person entering investing with crypto and stuff, and you're excited and you jump in, you put in money, whatever that amount is, 100, 500, 1,000, and you get excited. And then if you watch those news stories and then you allow that to affect your emotions, you begin to doubt yourself and you think, I've just made a big mistake. You pull your money out and could be at a loss because you don't trust it. And really, you don't trust yourself. And the reason why you don't trust yourself is you haven't done your due diligence to do a little bit of research to really understand what's at play and what's going on. So it's really important to do some YouTube searches and listen to what some of the experts are saying. Now, I know there's Mike Saylor, but what are some people that people can watch that are pretty trustworthy that you've come across?
Some YouTubers out there. I like Elio Trades. He runs a channel. His information is solid. Coin Bureau is another YouTube channel where there's some solid information. Then you've got some of the hype boys like BitBoy. BitBoy provides solid research and he provides good entertainment. He's very opinionated. He's got the #1 YouTube channel in the world of crypto. Then you've got some of the traders like Crypto, Chris from Crypto. His technical analysis and his conversation is very valid and accurate. You have Carl to the Moon. So Carl and his channel is the Moon, and he's got good insight and technical analysis, having been through more than one cycle. So a lot of these people here have been through more than one cycle. Altcoin Daily, Crypto Love. It's like there's lots of channels out there. So you listen to the dialogues, Altcoin Daily, you listen to these people and you kind of piece together a conversation and you process it, do your own thinking, do your own research, and you decide what's real and what's hype, right? Because we can listen to our favorite YouTuber and we get a very one-sided opinion. Right. Whereas when you go out and you listen to a bunch of YouTubers, you can kind of paste together what's hype and what's reality. Right. Because I'll say one of the things that I fell prey to was that, Cardano was on its way to being a $10 coin before I went and looked, and someone called it out and said, well, look at the market cap. It can never do that. Right. Because, Cardano is already this height, to displace Ethereum and challenge, to become a $10 coin and go up 50 times, it's going to be challenging Bitcoin. And it doesn't have any real inherent value to it yet. So I think that's what we need to watch. And it's like, Dogecoin, right? I was you asked me about the market cap. So the market cap right now of Dogecoin is $41 billion. $41 billion. And that's the market cap and the fully diluted market cap. So that means that the number of coins that are in circulation, so all the coins are in circulation. And I don't see an actual number of coins published on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, but I could take that $28 billion and divide it by the current 32 cents trading, and I could come up with a number of coins. So there's a lot of coins out there. And so when you're looking at coins and they're saying, well, this coin, so for Dogecoin to go 10 times now, that would make it a coin worth $500 million. Let's put it into perspective. Ethereum is just under $300 billion right now. And Ethereum is the network that all of these DeFi, NFTs, DAOs, right? Decentralized organizations are running on. We talked about this. The Ethereum gas fees are simply high because of the extreme number of transactions that are going on. So when you take a coin like a Doge, that's a $50 billion coin, and I'll say Dogecoin actually does have a real cryptocurrency, and it does have the ability to move crypto and do the stuff that cryptocurrency blockchain stuff does.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But at the same time, it was developed as a joke. And to think that the coin could 10 times from here, I think is really naive. Now, it could also be really naive that the coin could actually do that if you got more pump behind it. Because the coin has pumped to $50 billion. And I looked at it, the fundamentals, and I'm just going like, yeah, I don't feel it. I don't dig it. Right. And then you've got, something like Ethereum that's struggling to break, a $300 billion market cap that actually is kind of fueling finance on the internet.
Yeah.
Decentralized finance.
It kind of reminds me of when COVID began last year and everyone was running out buying toilet paper. And I'm thinking, that doesn't make any sense. People were making money buying it like crazy, and then the hand sanitizer. And it's just the way human beings are. And when they get emotional and get pulled into that hype and that excitement of it, and they want to get on board, and then that almost is what it seems like to me. And that's kind of what it feels like, because like you say, it's like it began as a joke, and it doesn't make sense. You don't know when, like, because Elon Musk is the guy that kind of drives it, you don't know when he's going to say something. You can't predict. And it's like, well, you just kind of wait for it to happen. And when it does, hopefully you're there and ready to pick up on it and get on, or jump off when it starts to drop or whatever. Right. So it's crazy.
Yeah. It's interesting. You start looking at these coins and looking at the technicals of the coins. Like, how has the coin been responding over the past month? And it's difficult to plot because you have to take into account the celebrity pump on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like April 20th was supposed to be the Dogecoin day, where I don't know, like Wall Street Bets or something. We're supposed to do something for National Doge Day. And, it's just like, I'm sitting here going like, the coin's at $50 billion. How much higher can it go? I just don't get it.
Yeah.
And, Doge has been falling today. And, Doge's shadow, the SHIB, so Shiba Inu, which is actually the breed of the Dogecoin dog.
Yeah.
Right. So that one has had those two coins are going through correction. Now, the interesting thing is that people are seeing that correction as, oh, that's a good opportunity to buy in because they think it's going to go higher. But the fundamentals of the coin are like, I don't know. Can Doge maintain a top 10 coin status?
Yeah.
I guess if Cardano can, Doge can.
Yeah. And then when you got, celebrity every once in a while piping in on it, then yeah, it definitely could. But it's a high risk. You have to be fully aware that when you're getting into that one, that you can't follow standard protocol when figuring out what it's going to do. And you got to kind of ride it by the seat of your pants.
Yeah. And I don't see it as a long time hold coin.
Mm-hmm.
I think that people who are buying it now need to have an exit strategy and figure out when they're getting out. Right. Mm-hmm. If you're in a profit position, take that profit. For God's sakes, you can always buy back in.
Yeah.
But it's like, because you don't make anything until you actually close the deal, until it's sold. Right.
Mm-hmm.
We can all talk about, owning a $1 million house in Toronto, but it's not $1 million house until someone actually buys it for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, a friend of mine owns 3 houses and he's telling me about all the money he's made. And I said, you haven't made any money.
No.
Because you haven't sold the property and you don't plan on selling the money. And I said, we can't predict what the market's going to be in 3 months, let alone 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in today's times.
Yeah, especially. Yeah.
So what's the emotional journey? What's this journey been like for you, going and seeing these big waves and what's going on? How's that feel?
It's interesting because I force myself, or I decide not to jump in as best as I can. Like I don't have any Dogecoin,
Yeah.
but I'm watching it to learn and to see. I'm not going to lose any money that way. And I, likely, there is that feeling of, darn it, I missed that one. I could have made, some good gains there. But, like we've said before, there are more projects that'll be coming in the future that'll be just as good or even more strong, that are going to be stronger than what we're seeing now, as the network and as it becomes more understood as to what's needed. And there are a lot of good people doing a lot of really good things, and so I have a lot of faith in that. So I'm watching Dogecoin just to learn and to understand what's going on, and to train myself not to FOMO, and to be careful. So it's like I'm using it as an educational thing for me right now. I do have ENQ, and it's dropped, and it's still dropping, and so it's like, you know what, that's okay, because I bought it 21 cents, and I bought it 19 cents, and at 17 cents, and then at 13 cents, and it's low 12s, I think, right now. But I believe, because of what the project is, having millions of cell phones connected, and that you can mine from your cell phone, that it will eventually turn around and start going up, and then I can be happy. But I'm a self-learner. I love to learn on my own and self-educate. So I'm using every opportunity that I can to go through that emotion, to feel it and go, it's okay to feel the emotion. I've done nothing wrong. I'm gaining understanding and insight, not only to how cryptocurrency lives, but also how it's affecting me, and how I can become a better person, make better, wiser choices, and not allow something that's outside of me influence me and my emotions, that I may make a bad decision and do something wrong, or burst out in emotion or something, right? So that's how I look at it, as because I do life coaching and relationship coaching. This is a nice refresher for me, which will obviously help my clients as well. So that's been my journey. I've been really excited about it because I'm brand new. I just see such great potential in a new system for the people, by the people, where there's no middleman, decentralized, and you become financially sovereign, and you control your own wealth, and that's what really excites me.
And it's interesting, right? So financial sovereignty, and if we think back, Bill and I are about the same age, and meaning our parents come from a very similar era, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I know my parents both started work early, and came through the Depression era, and so we're too young for World War II, but had worked on. I know, like, my mother worked in the Westinghouse factory in Hamilton, doing stuff, and at 12 and 13 years old, and that wasn't child labor. That was just the way it was in the 40s, right? My mom will be 91 years old in May. God bless her soul. And so it's like, we look at this, and it's what does that have to do with this cryptocurrency? What does it have to do with our emotional thinking? And I think it comes down to, it's like our money blueprint, right? And we were talking about this on Sunday. What's your money blueprint, right? I think it's like, how much is enough, and why would you need that much?
Because some people have great vision, and they need that money to move and fulfill that vision that they have, and hopefully it's a heart-centered vision, I guess is one way to say it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's like one of the exercises I did in one of my entrepreneurial coaching sessions was, what kind of an impact do you want to make on the world?
And
in order to leave a legacy, you can leave a legacy by being a good person and leaving your heirs, your children, and your nieces and nephews, if you don't have children, or your friends' children, and you can be a good surrogate parent, right? And you can leave a legacy of well-balanced and kind children, right? Who are self-sufficient, and who make the world a better place.
Mm-hmm.
And I think along that lines is that in order to make a larger impact, it'll take some wealth.
Yeah.
So, earning money isn't just about Lambos and private jet rides and drinking champagne. It's about, do I have $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 that I can make a difference in the world?
Mm-hmm.
And I can make a lasting impact.
Yeah.
The great thing about being in a social country like Canada is that our basic human needs are met, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, you don't have to worry about, you or I don't have to worry about getting sick and leaving great financial burden for our family for our healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for the last 35 years, 40 years that we've been working and paying taxes, we've contributed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that, as we go on our investor's journey, and and to answer your question, I'm going to tell you how much Dogecoin has increased in 1 year. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
16,360%. So
yeah,
Dogecoin from April of 2020 to April of 2021 has gone up almost 17,000 times.
Yeah.
170, so 16,300%. 16,300%, right?
Yeah.
Wow. It's like if you had put $1 into Dogecoin 1 year ago, right?
Yeah.
It would have gone up. So would that be $160,000? Wow. $1. How come, why can't we just put $5 or $10 into these silly coins and forget about it?
That might not be a bad plan. One thing I wanted to add when you're talking about, our financial blueprint is that, one of the things I tell my male clients is ask yourself this question and then try and answer it. And the question is, what kind of man do you want to be? And if you're not that man, do you want to be that man? Are you willing to take that journey? And if you are, then make the choices that put you in that direction and make those right decisions to keep you there so that you can become that man. Because I don't think I know this might be a little bit off topic, but a lot of men don't even sit down to even ask themselves that question internally. Am I the kind of man that I want to be? They just kind of let life carry them to wherever they are and kind of follow what they're told to do. And the way it connects with our financial sovereignty is this is an opportunity where you can control your wealth and you can make your decisions yourself in what direction you want to go with it. And, whether it's the strategy that you're going to hodl or hold your Bitcoin, or whether you're going to try and catch the pump and dumps to make your gains, to move into other altcoins, and then moving that back into Bitcoin to continually build your Bitcoin stash, then, those are questions and decisions you're going to have to make. You can't just fly from the hip day to day in your investing. That's not a strategy, because you're going to miss out on opportunities. And if you aren't emotionally intelligent or mature, if your emotional maturity isn't there, then you're going to become frustrated. You're going to hate the system and get out of it, likely, because you think it's just a bunch of stupid stuff because it isn't working for you.
Well, and to speak to that, it's like, the Henry Ford statement, whatever you think, right, is absolutely correct. So if you think that if you're coming into Bitcoin to make $1 million and your root belief is that it's a scam and that everybody's going to steal your money, it'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll get into Dogecoin at $47 billion and you'll sell at $15 billion because you've been waiting for it to come back up. I had bought some Dogecoin. If I would have held it, I probably would have had a lot of money now. It was somewhere around 6 cents or something like that, 5 cents.
Yeah. Wow.
And, I bought $400 of it. It went up and then it dropped. And I just said, you know what? I just don't feel it for this coin.
Yeah.
So I took my $50 loss and I just said, yeah, it's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. You know, it's like staying away from the FOMO.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's as a, you know, as someone who's been around the cryptocurrency for a while,
Yeah.
is that, you know, you got to choose your battles, and
Mm-hmm.
you got to stay, you know, there's certain element of staying within the lanes and keeping to the things we know,
Yeah.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
expanding our knowledge, learning how to do technical analysis. I
Yeah.
really loved what we talked last time about the Elliott wave theory and how
Yeah.
he mapped, you know, what we're talking about, emotional psychology,
Mm-hmm.
into trading. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of amazing things there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the big thing that we're seeing here is, you know, when it comes to the cryptocurrency world, you know, I love your quote. You know, with great freedom comes great responsibility,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and everything we do, we're responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
Cryptocurrency is a speculative market,
Mm-hmm.
and with speculation, there may be a big upside, there may be big downsides,
Yeah.
right? And it's
Yeah.
which side of that we're on. When the
Mm-hmm.
market decides that it's over, I don't think it's going to fly a flag and say, "Hey, everyone, we're going down. Do you want to get out of your risky positions?"
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd say, right, you know, in this drop that, you know, if I look at my altcoin Bitcoin holdings, it was about a 20% correction across the board.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, okay, both camps got hit, right? Who's
Mm-hmm.
going to recover faster,
Yeah.
right? Who's going to come back faster, and who's going to come back stronger? I think those are the things we're going to see. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm running at the bottom of this, uh, of our session here. I'm running a banner about cryptocurrency security, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
talked about this. So it's like
Yeah.
when you sign up with a new exchange, it's using a strong, unique password. It's
Mm-hmm.
setting up two-factor authentication using your Google
Mm-hmm.
authentication. It's setting up a phishing phrase so you can recognize when the email comes from
Yeah.
the exchange if they support it. It's also about setting up a trading password so that when you go to do a buy or sell on a trade, it asks you for your trading password if the
Yeah.
platform supports that. Um, Email verification and IP security. So IP security is if I'm on my exchange and my IP address changes immediately, it's going to log me out and ask me to log in again.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's going to say, well, basically what's happening is someone's trying to log in using your credentials from another location, another
Yeah.
IP address,
Yeah.
right? So that's a flag. It's also like I noticed that there was a post in Crypto Canada that if you see your cell phone that says no service, so it's not no bars, but it actually says no service, that your phone may have been SMS
Mm-hmm.
port swapped. You
Yeah.
know, it's like in the old days of long distance slamming where someone would redirect your long distance to another carrier. So
Mm-hmm.
someone comes in and takes your SMS, your cell phone number, ports it to a new phone, and then they have access to your
Mm-hmm.
short messages.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have access to your two-factor authentication. They may not have access to your email unless they phished and already compromised all that information. It depends
Yeah.
on the sophistication and how long they've been working on you to do that.
Yeah. And I
So,
have port protection enabled already. So, and the other thing I want to mention while we're talking about that is most of the people that I've been meeting are decent, law-abiding, kind-hearted, well-intentioned motive people, and we often think everyone is like us,
yes.
and we can't imagine somebody that would be that mean and cruel to steal a wallet, misguide you, and manipulate you out of your hard-earned money that you've invested into Bitcoin or whatever. And so you always have to keep that in mind, that anybody out there that contacts you out of the blue, any kind of phishing, any kind of anything like that, if you don't know them and they can't vet themselves, then you need to just stay clear and just don't go in that direction. You don't need to be a maverick. There's no new little secret that somebody's going to give to you that only you will have. And because there are people out there that are wanting to do you harm.
Absolutely. The interesting thing is, it comes down to, you mentioned that cryptocurrency, don't trust anybody. Don't take my word for it. Don't take Bill's word for it. Do your own research. Validate for yourself. And, be really careful when someone tells you, I was losing money until I met Bill, and then Bill started trading for me, and I'm now a Bitcoin millionaire in 7 days. It ain't going to happen. And, you don't fall for that. Those are called confidence scams, right? And confidence scams have been around for centuries.
Yeah.
Right? It's to get you to believe in something that they're just not going to deliver, so that you can hand over the keys to your kingdom and your gold.
Yeah.
So do your diligence, trust your gut instinct. If something doesn't feel right, get a second opinion, find someone you can trust, and, just don't do it.
Yeah.
So we work, I'm thinking about that movie from the 80s. She works hard for her money. You remember that one?
That wasn't 9 to 5, was it?
No, it was she was a dancer.
Oh, you mean Flashdance?
Flashdance, yes, thank you. So that's, and she was a welder at night, and she was dancing by day. And
I think I watched that movie when it opened, like an opening night in Kitchener. Watched that movie.
Yeah, and it's like, we were probably teenagers then, right? Yeah.
I would have been like 20, 21, I think.
Yeah, so it's
like you're a little younger than me, so
late teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
Right. So, not that we're that much older right now, mentally, anyways.
We're on the ball.
And so part of it is that you work hard for your money, and you want to keep it. So choose the people you trust, the platforms you trust. Choose carefully.
Yeah. Don't be in a rush. A lot of people I've noticed on Crypto Canada will ask questions about, what to buy, and is it going to go up or down without even having done any type of research. And so there's always a reminder, do some research first. If you're asking these kinds of questions, that means you're just not ready to jump into it yet, because these are questions that you should not be asking. Because if you've done some of your own research, you would know those answers already. And so that's just something to be aware of, that, when you go in some of these groups, Crypto Canada and Crypto Canada, or cryptocurrencies questions and answers. Such a long one. I just lost my thought. So anyways, what I'm saying is you need to educate yourself first before you jump into the crypto investing.
Yeah. Educate yourself, do your own research, and, in doing your own research, might be looking for research, sure, in a group like Crypto Canada or Cryptocurrency Question and Answers, right? There's people doing, posts. Someone did some research, I know, in Cryptocurrency Questions and Answers on ENQ, on MAP, on Matic, on Litecoin, on Cardano, on Ethereum. So, you'll see people presenting information and research on projects like that. I know I wrote some of those.
Yeah, LTC.
The same in Crypto Canada, right? And then it's to, go to your favorite Coin Market Cap and CoinGecko, and there's a few other sites where you can go and do coin research.
I think one piece of advice is, if you want to look at an altcoin, is one of the things to look for is a low market cap, and start there. Just pick one and just go to the website, read what it has to say, and see what you think of the project. And if it sounds like it's an interesting one, you can always reach out to some of these groups and say, I've done some research on this altcoin. It's got a low cap. It looks interesting. What are your thoughts? And guys that have been more seasoned, like yourself, will usually weigh in, will do some of their own research and say, yeah, this is actually a good one. I hadn't seen it, but you brought up a good one, maybe something to look at. And then you do, that's a nice way to kind of step into that research.
Yeah. So
would you say that's pretty?
Yeah, absolutely.
Advice,
it's important to do as much reading and research as you can. It's like looking for opinions from other people, and then looking for opinions from, YouTubers. Like, you can look at the old guys like Tony Vase, and there's folks out there that have been around for a long time, right? So you want to go and see what's the opinion. Do they have an opinion, right? So if they're a Bitcoin purist, they may not have an opinion on the altcoin that you're looking at. So you may need to go and do a YouTube search and find people who are sharing research. Hey, if you find a website and you find it hard to read a lot of information on the website, remember that you can get Google to read it to you.
Yeah.
Right. So inside of your web, if you're using a Chrome-based browser, you can say read aloud and it'll read everything to you, and you can set the pace so that you can absorb information, right? Not everybody learns by reading, not everybody learns by listening, and not everybody learns by watching. It's generally a combination of all of the above, right? Different learning styles.
Yeah. Some people learn by trial and error.
Well, absolutely. It's like, there is that, learning by hands-on experience, right? And that's why, like, a lot of people learn investing through the school of hard knocks.
Yeah.
Right? And we go there and we do things, and then it's like, oh, okay, that didn't work. What would work? So I think there's a lot of value in finding information on your own.
Yeah. Oh,
and
definitely.
Seeking opinions from multiple sources, and then taking a gut feel read of what you think. I think that's super valuable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's been an amazing week. It's going to be interesting to see, are we in for another long sideways movement in the market?
Aren't sorry to add to that. Aren't they talking, like central bank in UK talking about bringing out their own cryptocurrency now? To offset or to keep people from going into Bitcoin. The people that may be considering Bitcoin, when they hear about central banks, they may feel safer and go, I'm going to get that instead. The Bitcoin, that sounds a little too volatile to me. I'm going to go in this direction instead. Do you think that plays into the reason?
I think
maybe
I think what that does is that UK is going to add its own cryptocurrency. China's adding its own cryptocurrency. The US is toying with the idea. Canada's toying with the idea, right? So what that's going to do is that's going to completely validate the blockchain and cryptocurrency.
Yeah. So
that is going to further instill confidence in the underlying technologies. So Bill Gates and even the current president of Microsoft states, I wouldn't support a decentralized currency. I would look for a government supported currency. Well, when you own one of the largest corporations that provides software to the largest corporations in the world and the governments, you're going to say that you're going to support the government.
I think so. Yeah.
It's a good political move, right? We don't want one of those, what do they call them? Career limiting actions, CLAs.
Yet on the other side, they're quietly picking up Bitcoin and quietly picking up Ethereum and playing both sides, so you win no matter what. So okay,
there's some brilliant strategists out there. And I think I saw something where Peter Schiff was talking about Dogecoin. I don't know if someone memed him saying that or it was really him talking about it, but it's like, you look at these people and they're all, what it comes down to is a lot of the purists out there and a lot of the fiat purists out there and the gold purists is that once they get outside of their area, their domain of knowledge and excellence, they feel uncomfortable, and therefore it's beyond their scope of knowledge. And versus saying, you know what, I don't have enough information to be able to properly evaluate this market, they dump on it. Right. And Michael Saylor from MicroStrategies is an interesting individual because he's having a conversation with another financial analyst who's calling and saying, you really should be selling your Bitcoin when it's at the peak of the market and then buying back in at the dip.
Yeah.
And Michael Saylor says, well, that is actually one of the worst strategies because it's one of the strategies that the tax system penalizes, right? So when you become a day trader, that you become you're essentially saying, I'm a professional trader. You're doing hundreds of transactions per month.
Yeah.
And it becomes a full-time job. So you get taxed as business income.
Yeah.
Right. Versus dollar cost averaging buying. Right. And Michael Saylor, maybe he buys his DCA is a little bit higher than us by buying, $500 million or $1 billion or $1.5 billion in the trenches.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, even when, it's like he says, when Bitcoin dips, I buy more. I bought another $500 million.
Yeah. It's a store of value.
Yeah.
And he talks about borrowing against your Bitcoin holdings, right? So
yeah. And he's talking about, he says, you will definitely make more money than me in 1 year as a trader. But I will guarantee you that in 20 to 30 years, my holdings will outweigh yours. Right.
Yeah.
And from a tax position, he's in a much more favorable tax position. And this is the thing that we need to understand is that once you've amassed enough, riches, you're putting $1 billion in Bitcoin. Yeah, you can afford to sit there and let it compound over the years. And it's not interest. It's not the 1%, 2%, 5% interest that you're getting from the bank or even from the DeFi. It's just the value of the coin in its overall scarcity.
Yeah.
And Bitcoin is not a scarce asset. And what I mean by that is that there's always the same amount of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
As long as your price is appropriate, Bitcoin is for sale. Right? So if the market price is $64,000 and someone decides they want my Bitcoin and offer me $70,000, I might be motivated to sell it. And that's what drives the price up.
Yeah.
So I think we covered a lot. I want to thank you a lot for giving the insight as a new investor, talking about the emotional journey. And even as, someone who's been around for a while, it's like, when you get a 20% dip in your portfolio, you can feel sad.
Oh yeah.
And
because they're your babies.
Yeah. And then when it comes up and it's pumping up again, you get excited.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's fun. And be safe out there. Do your own research. Go out and find other YouTube sources, other blog sources, other crypto communities, altcoin communities. Join them, get out, and find like-minded people that you can have conversations with. Because, it was interesting is I had someone reach out to me and say, my friends don't want to talk about crypto. Find new friends.
Yeah.
It's not that you have to get rid of your old friends. They're still good people, but they're just not connected on the cryptocurrency vibe that you're in.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like find a new community where you can create new relationships and you can talk about your favorite new hobby.
Yeah.
Crypto Canada is a great group. There's like 10,000 Canadian and worldwide members there with a focus on cryptocurrency for Canadians.
Yeah.
And then we have the cryptocurrency questions and answers group that's got an international flavor to it, and that we have, just over 500, 600 members. So it's a small, intimate group. So you choose the group that you'd like and go and find some new connections and friends that you can have conversations with.
Yeah.
Join the conversation that makes you feel comfortable.
Exactly. And you'll be amazed at the friends you make, right, Jeff?
Absolutely, Bill. That's how we met. So great. And all right. So viewers, make sure you lightly tap the like button, share out to the viewers. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and click the subscribe and the notification button. We do try to do these 3 times a week and occasionally with emergency broadcasts.
Yeah.
And share with your friends, your new friends if your old friends don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Bill. It's been fun. I
as always.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Have a great evening, folks. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.